I will narrate all because all were very important to me in my life in the Air Force.
Sure. Recently, I've also saw you tweet about meeting Rakesh Sharma.
Oh, yes. My father used to always, have this placard on his office table. It's bad to be too good, but don't ever become a spoke in somebody else's work or in somebody else's program. Receiving that from the President of India in Rashtrapati Bhavan was something to be really proud of. So now I can call myself an author too.
Are there any unforgettable moments in your time in service which you are very proud of?
Oh yes, there were many. There were many.
One, if you could pick the topmost.
No, I will narrate all because all were very important to me in my life in the Air Force.
Sure.
The first was the first time I went solo on an aircraft. That is, I had been flying with an instructor all the time. And suddenly the instructor told me, son, go on your own. Now, when you open that throttle and the aircraft starts accelerating down the runway and you get airborne, that thrill of leaving the ground on your own and being in control of something, that was I think the best thrill that I had at that point of time as a cadet. Next stage came when I became an instructor. And I had to send somebody solo. It's something like you have your baby along with you. You're always holding the baby's hand while you're walking. And one fine day you leave the hand and the baby is walking. And the kind of thrill that you have is a similar thrill that I had when I sent my first boy solo in the Air Force Academy. Next was, like I mentioned, when I ejected, it was I won't say an unforgettable moment, but yes, it was an experience, which I would not like everyone to have because that would mean the loss of an aircraft, but it was an experience. Then as I went into command of stations, command of squadron, I commanded a fighter squadron, a MiG-21 squadron. And as the commanding officer of the squadron, I would, at the risk of being immodest, say that I led from the front and in a meet where it was a competition of inter-squadron competition in weapon delivery. I fired 4 rockets and all 4 rockets were direct hits onto the target, which no one else had achieved, and I won that trophy. So receiving that trophy from the Air Marshal was a very, very uplifting moment for me. My squadron was declared the best squadron in the Indian Air Force.
Wow.
That I felt was an achievement, not my own, unlike that firing the rockets. Here it was a collective performance of the entire squadron personnel who supported me, who followed my instructions the way they were to be followed. And that brought about that kind of environment in the squadron where when the people went around to judge the squadrons, my squadron was declared the best in the Indian Air Force.
Right.
Last but not the least was that when I was commanding the station in the eastern sector, it was a jungle. Entire place was a jungle. And I had been there, posted to that station twice earlier. And when I landed up now there as the boss of the station, I said, I need to do something. I got my team together, explained to them what I want. And I must say that the team executed my, vision to the best possible way. They cleaned up the station. The jungle was cleared up, which was, earlier a lot of malaria cases used to happen. Now because the vegetation hadn't gone out, the malaria cases came down to almost zero. And for my effort over there, for which I again give credit to my station personnel. I was awarded the Ati Vishesh Seva Medal.
Okay.
And receiving that from the President of India in Rashtrapati Bhavan was something to be really proud of.
Awesome. I can actually see you light up as you speak about these entire unforgettable incidents and moments in your life. Recently,
Yes.
I've also saw you tweet about meeting Rakesh Sharma.
Yes.
So how did that happen? And were you in service at that time? And
Yeah, Rakesh Sharma, he was a couple of courses junior to me.
okay.
But sometime in 1974, 75, we went for a selection for the production test pilots course at Bangalore. We were four of us in that batch which went for that selection. He got selected, I didn't.
Okay.
But we knew each other, we were friends then. And from there he went on to, become a test pilot, a full-fledged test pilot. And then he was selected for going to Russia for the cosmonaut program. And once he came back from there, and we met, and we were still in touch. Now, when I was in Hashimara as the air officer commanding that station, I had MiG-27 aircraft. By then, Rakesh Sharma had progressed to become the chief test pilot of HAL. We were having some, issues with the aircraft. So I spoke to him and I said, can you come down here and, have a look at what the issues are and give us some suggestions? He readily agreed and he came down. And then when he came down there, then I told him, I said, look, I can't leave you just like this. You have to tell my station about your experiences in space. Yes. And he gave a very nice presentation on his thing. So our relationship goes back to the India days, actually. And then now he has settled down in Kunur. I go there once in a while and we meet up. We renew our friendship there. And, excellent person.
Except that, what do you think is your biggest learning as a leader, personally?
I would say that, as a leader, what I learned was that be good, but don't be too good. My father
boundaries.
My father used to always, have this placard on his office table. It's bad to be too good, because then people take advantage of you.
Right.
Be good to the extent that is required. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. Be good. Be good. Be helpful. Like, in one of my appointments, I was in the personnel staff at the air headquarters. A lot of people would come with requests of, wanting something for themselves. So my attitude or approach to that used to be that help if you can. If you can't, don't become a spoke. Just step aside, let somebody else do it if you're not able to help. But don't ever become a spoke in somebody else's work or in somebody else's progress. Never climb over somebody else's shoulder to reach the top.
What you just said also falls into the integrity part that you spoke about in your CID to the power of 3, right? When we began, you started off saying that your word that can describe your journey in the forces is exhilarating and extraordinary. What is exhilarating and extraordinary post your retirement now?
The opportunity that I get to interact with young people, that is more invigorating, exhilarating for me. As today I'm pushing 75. When I meet younger people, their ideas, they're far removed from what I had when I was that age. So I try to imbibe those kind of things. That's why, if you see my WhatsApp DP and the thing written over there is, I'm still at school, I'm still learning.
Right.
I don't think learning ever stops. And today, if I'm able to learn from the new generation, something which my generation never knew about. I grew up in an environment, when I was a young kid, till the time I joined India, there was no television. Today, a kid, from the crib, he starts using a cell phone. So there are so many changes that have taken place in life over a period of time, and generation after generation is becoming better and better and better. And my mantra has been that don't buck the system. If a new generation person comes up with an idea, don't discard it outright. Listen, think, listen. The ability to listen is what makes, I think, a person a little different than those who just clear off people. Okay, theek hai, ho gaya. No. Like, supposing you're agitated and you come to me and you want to say something, and before you utter a word, I say, I've understood what you want to say. Your problem will be resolved. You go away, but you're not satisfied because you're not taking it out of the system.
Correct.
So I, as an individual, when people come to me, I listen to them. Sometimes it goes on for 45 minutes, 1 hour. They will keep on talking about their problems, issues. The answer is just one word. But they have got it out of the system. Once it's out of the system, they go back cool, calm. So that's how I operate, and I tell others also whom I meet that follow this and you will be happier.
Awesome, sir. You did mention that you are learning from the youngsters today. But if you were to give a message to them, what would that be?
I would say have an aim, select an aim, and work towards it. Don't allow distractions to make you waver from that aim.
Right.
In short, lage raho munna bhai.
Wonderful. Coming back to post your retirement from the forces, you are now a consultant, right?
I would say when I retired, for first 6 months it was like freedom.
Okay.
Freedom to relax at I used to feel thrilled seeing people going to work when I'm just relaxing in my balcony and seeing them go and all. But then after about 6 months, it starts getting onto you.
Right.
So I did work with one startup airline in Bangalore as their chief of flight safety and deputy chief of operations. But then that didn't work out. Then along with a colleague of mine from the Air Force, we started aviation ground school named Blue Diamond Aviation, where we were training, teaching. We had a team of instructors along with us, and we were teaching these aspiring students, 10th, 12th standard students who wanted to become pilots, either in the Air Force or in the civil stream. And once we, started doing this, then we needed to send them somewhere for flying training, because now it was only the theoretical training that we were imparting here. So then we tried out with flying schools in India, some flying schools abroad. And that's how that organization produced more than 500 students, who went on to become pilots. Whether they joined the airlines or not, that was a different thing, because airlines have their own criteria for joining them. Okay. So 7 years we ran that school, and that school got disbanded because students stopped coming. There was a slump in the industry, and that sort of was not viable anymore.
Okay.
Then I became a consultant to a flying school here in Baramati, consultant on aviation issues with them.
Okay.
Also doing some kind of liaison between them and the Air Force for any clearances, etc. and all that. So that kept me busy. Thereafter, once the owner of that flying school in Baramati passed away, then my relationship in that organization reduced a little bit. And then I got an opportunity which was absolutely removed from my, I would say, training, etc., that I had always done. Today, I'm a consultant with a real estate company.
Oh, okay.
And I'm in this organization as a consultant for management of societies.
I see.
I would say that the management of this company have engaged me actually for my interpersonal skills in talking to the customers and getting their issues resolved at the earliest. So that's my job now. And in between, somewhere my writing streak, came up, and I started writing some stories based upon my Air Force experience, and I started posting them on Facebook. One guy, noticed this, and he called me up and he said, "Look, why don't you publish them?" I said, "I'm just writing." He said, "You send me all your stories, and I will publish them." So I sent him the stories. He published my first book, published my second book. My third book is getting ready now.
Awesome. Yeah.
And during this COVID period, my grandchildren were with me.
Okay.
Every day I would narrate some story to them. And then my daughter told me, "Why don't you put it on Instagram?" And then I said, "Okay." So she created a handle for me called Nanu's Story Time.
Wow. Okay.
I've got some stories on it, which during the COVID time, I used to post almost one story a day, and that carried on for some time.
Awesome.
And today, one of the publishers I spoke to, they said that they will collect the stories from there and put it into book form. So
awesome.
hopefully another book would come. So now I can call myself an author too.
Wonderful, wonderful. As a content creator myself, most of the times wherever I had tried to learn, they always, tell your story. That's all is needed. Your story itself is going to be full of knowledge, full of lessons for people to learn. And that is precisely the reason why I started the series of talking to defense veterans to understand their stories, to learn so much from their own experiences and wisdom that they share. So having said that, thank you so much.
I think it's a wonderful platform that you've chosen to share these stories with others, and it's something that I must thank you for getting me on this show with you. It's nice meeting you. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.